Hello everybody, my name's Big Citrus and let's get into it. It has been an interesting time to be a Call of Duty fan these past few years. Between the quality of the games diminishing hard and the overall lack of content that we've received in general, it's been really hard to be a consistent Call of Duty fan for the past 3 years. I would say Call of Duty Cold War was really the last COD we got that truly felt like a full package and actually had a lot of good content post-launch and actually felt like it had a unique style and vision, but it was a Treyarch Call of Duty, so I think most of us expected quality because, let's be real, Treyarch's the best COD developer, don't at me. Recently though, there's been the biggest controversy in Call of Duty's history in a long time, which is really saying something when you consider that this franchise is owned by Activision Blizzard. There's a different thing every week with this company, man. I have never seen this much hate on Call of Duty ever. Sorry, I'm eating Fruit Loops right now. It's been a busy day. I have not seen this much hate for Call of Duty ever, which is really weird considering that Modern Warfare 2 was very poorly received by most people, and I'm shocked that the game itself got less hate than the current controversy. If you've been on the internet at all recently, you 100% know what I'm talking about. I'm not here to waste any more of your time. I'm just going to jump into the facts of the situation and the truth behind why and what happened and what it means for Call of Duty and kind of just content creators as a whole. If you'd like to skip all of this information, if you already know what happened and you just want to know the why and the truth of it, I'll put a timestamp on screen. NickMercs, who has been a pretty popular streamer for a number of years now, recently mainly streaming Apex and Call of Duty, mostly Battle Royale games. An Overwatch League commentator by the name of Chris Puckett replied to a video on Twitter where anti-LGBT protesters were attacking pro-LGBT demonstrators outside of a Glendale, California school board meeting. The school board was voting on recognizing June as a Pride Month, hence why the pro-LGBT demonstrators were there, basically people advocating and trying to explain to the school board why they should be recognizing June as a Pride Month. When some anti-LGBT protesters showed up, police got involved, but regardless of that, the anti-LGBT protesters got violent and a video was posted on Twitter. Chris Puckett just said that Americans are in a sad place right now. Let people love who they love and live your own life. In which Mr. NickMercs replied, "They should leave little children alone. That's the real issue." Within about 48 hours, the controversy had gotten blown out of proportion. You saw a lot of support for what Nick said, and you saw a lot of hate against him. Regardless of Nick's intent, the damage to himself was done. He tried apologizing for the incident on stream, but saying that he didn't really feel bad for what he said, and said that he stood by it and he feels that his opinions are solid, especially considering he is a child of his own. Regardless of that, players had noticed that Call of Duty had removed his operator bundle from the game. NickMercs and fellow content creator TimTheTatMan got their own operator bundles, and honestly kind of a desperate attempt to get them maybe to play the game again and bring some other audience to Call of Duty and to Warzone, but I still think it's kind of cool to recognize creators who have supported your game for so long. Regardless, his bundle was removed, and obviously, that's money that he was getting for every single purchase on that pack, money he was getting that is a revenue source cut off for him, which, is unfortunate for him, I guess. But people lost their minds. Uninstall COD went trending on Twitter. People saw this as an attack on freedom of speech. TimTheTatMan, very good friend, fellow streamer of NickMercs, went on stream the next day saying that he honestly thinks NickMercs didn't mean to hurt anybody. Couple days later, TimTheTatMan tweets this, basically saying, "Remove my bundle from the game as it doesn't really seem fair for Nick to not have his." So, like that, both TimTheTatMan and NickMercs bundles were removed, people lost their minds, and the Go Woke Get Broke tweets ensued from there. So that is objectively what happened. Now it's time to get into the why, the what, and the truth. First of all, let me just say, I am going to voice my 100% real opinions in this video, and I'm not going to shy away from what I actually think, and I'm not trying to force a narrative or anything here. I'm just trying to give you what I honestly think and feel and what are the real facts. But of course, feel free to comment your thoughts below, even if you heavily disagree with me and leave, your own interpretation of events. But I think this whole situation has really just told people what they already know. It's made a lot of people in the streaming and gaming community, and obviously more specifically the Call of Duty community, look like a bunch of pieces of shit. I'm not gonna sit here and beat around the bush. I think what NickMercs said was problematic and offensive for a number of reasons, but before we get into that, we must talk about Call of Duty fans. See, Call of Duty is a franchise that is almost literally the definition of too big to fail. Call of Duty can release the worst game with completely reused assets and just basically no effort or polish put into the game, and it will still make millions of dollars because people like the simple gameplay of Call of Duty. Both Pokemon and Call of Duty are franchises that I've heavily enjoyed and heavily disliked in the past. The gameplay loop of Call of Duty feels rewarding with unlocking new weapons and attachments as you go, and the arcade style shooting of it feels great. Same thing with Pokemon. Building a team in Pokemon, you know, catching new Pokemon, exploring the regions, and collecting all the gym badges is fun. Even when the games are shit, if the formula is the same, people will buy them. Call of Duty has been on a downward spiral basically since Black Ops Cold War, so it's crazy to me to see the amount of people who are saying, oh, I'm uninstalling Call of Duty, uninstall the game, not playing it anymore, as kind of a boycott and a protest, because number one, isn't this exactly what people like get upset about when something is getting canceled? Like, oh, you're boycotting and protesting this just because you got offended that they were racist, or you got offended that they made a homophobic joke, or you got offended that a character was whitewashed or something. That's so stupid. Why are you trying to take someone's livelihood away over something that doesn't matter or just a stupid joke? But you are uninstalling Call of Duty because you can no longer buy this man's operator bundle because he said something homophobic on Twitter. Okay. Damn, you guys are really sensitive. You wouldn't last 10 minutes in a Modern Warfare 2 lobby. By the way, can we put that joke to rest? Okay, look, I was in those OG Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 1 Search and Destroy lobbies, motherfucker. Most of the people who say that themselves would not last 10 seconds in a Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 1 Search and Destroy lobby. I was in those OG Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 1 Search and Destroy lobbies, motherfucker. And people wouldn't just say slurs. They wouldn't just say KYS, 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 or just call you fat and fucking gay and just say the same three things over and over again, or just call you, oh my god, literally this guy's so fucking brain dead. No, people back in those Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops lobbies would come up with the most fucking creative insults and would absolutely fucking destroy you mentally. You had to be a fucking artiste. You had to be someone who was a skilled warrior in the art of professional word combat to fucking make a dent in one of those motherfuckers. As someone who was there and got roasted a few times and delivered some fucking mind-melting roasts, most of y'all would not have lasted. Sorry for that little tangent. The second thing I was gonna say about the uninstalling thing is you guys were fine playing Modern Warfare 2 this whole time. I do admit it is very annoying that Call of Duty, you know, Activision, whatever, can not fix a lot of game-breaking issues that are in Modern Warfare 2 and, you know, make a lot of the changes that players have been requesting. But the second this NickMercs, you know, tweet happens, within 48 hours, they've changed something. I have to admit that is shitty as someone who, you know, would have been playing Modern Warfare 2. Fucking on God's green earth, I cannot imagine why you would have been playing Modern Warfare 2. That game just basically lacks all of the features that Modern Warfare 2019 introduced, and is an incredibly unpolished game on top of it. So honestly, Call of Duty fans, I think this might be a blessing in disguise that you're uninstalling the game, because now you can maybe go try a better and more finished game. A lot of them are being hypocrites about boycotting it, and a lot of them just confuse me with that this is the time they're choosing to uninstall the game, but whatever. Also, you already bought the game, so uninstalling it doesn't really do much, but whatever. I don't agree with it. I don't get it necessarily, but do whatever the fuck you want, you know? The thing that we have to talk about, which is probably gonna be controversy, is what NickMercs actually said and why I'm saying it is in fact homophobic, because I know from a lot of people who probably are uneducated or grew up in a conservative values home probably look at what he said and agree with it 100%. I know that like a bunch of right-wing news sources like to push the agenda that a lot of LGBT people are totally into just fucking children all the time and pushing their agenda on the little kids and trying to turn them transgender and trying to turn them gay. I would say well over about like 70% of LGBTQ people do not feel this way at all. I see a lot of people saying that most LGBTQ people are MAPs, which stands for minor attracted person, which let me just say, if anyone actually identifies as a MAP, I genuinely think that they should Like, if you are someone who identifies as that, you are a monster and you do not deserve basic human rights. And most LGBTQ people do not claim these people. I can almost unequivocally say in this situation that NickMercs was referring to, it was not the case at all, as it isn't in most situations. Most LGBT organizations are trying to just like educate children that LGBTQ people exist and to, you know, accept them and how they're different and everything. In this case, they were just trying to get Pride Month recognized and everything. And people immediately turned it into a violent affair with anti-LGBTQ protesters attacking these people. And I don't see how you can support someone who's actually gonna go to a school board meeting where this is happening and fucking assault people. I know a lot of people might say, oh, well, they're just trying to protect the kids. That's what I would do. That's what a real American would do. I think there's a lot of other things that are more endangering to children than LGBT people trying to be recognized and teach them acceptance. Indoctrination comes in all forms, especially with religion. 90% of all fucking religious people I know were indoctrinated into that religion. Their parents and their family made them go to church and forced it upon them from the age that they were a baby and everything. And most people I know as adults who had that happen to them, they don't even practice that religion anymore. But it's still, those ideologies and everything about it are still just ingrained in their brain. And a lot of that shit's very harmful. The amount of Christian friends I've had who, you know, have had sex before they got married or done something sexual with someone before they got married, and like the amount of guilt and resentment they felt was just insane. It's a horrible thing to teach someone. Having sex before you get married is completely natural. I could go on and on with religious examples, but another thing a lot of religions do is teach you to not appreciate gay people. So yeah, I think that the whole NickMercs saying, oh, they need to leave little children alone. If you really care really about the children, Nick, and you're trying to say that, oh, I'm a father, I have my own child and everything, I'm just coming off as defensive because I have my own child. I think there's a lot of other causes that you should probably start getting mad at first, Nick, if you really care about the children. Or maybe you just don't like gay people. But I don't know. Who's to say? Also, I think TimTheTatMan's dying on this hill is kind of a weird thing. I'm seeing a lot of people say that, oh, this is what a real friend does, you know, backing his friend no matter what and everything. I mean, I can kind of understand where they're coming from. Possibly throwing your career away for your friend? I mean, NickMercs must be some friend. I would have to be really good friends with someone to ask for my operator bundle to get removed from Call of Duty and stand in the support of a man who is currently going through a massive scandal and being called a homophobe by tons of people online, and who is currently being defended by a bunch of open transphobes and homophobes on the internet and people who actively think trans people should kill themselves. Man, it's kind of weird that NickMercs seems to be anti-LGBT, considering he seems to have a very special relationship going on with Mr. TimTheTatMan. I mean, let's be real. We all have that one gaming buddy that we would kiss on the mouth too. I get it, Nick and Tim. It just seems a little hypocritical, you know? What does this mean for Call of Duty, though? Is Call of Duty going to be over because of this? Is Call of Duty really going to suffer? The answer should be obvious, but it is no. Call of Duty is most likely going to be completely fine. It's hard to support anything Activision Blizzard does anymore because, I mean, y'all know what they did. But I do respect Activision Blizzard for kind of trying to seem like they're moving on from it. Diablo 4 has come out, and it has actually been a game that was completely worth the $70 price point. And of course, now they're actually trying to stand with their LGBTQ fans, which is kind of a weird decision from Call of Duty, because how many LGBTQ fans does Call of Duty have? Let's be real, most of the only people I know who play Call of Duty are people who, you know, post pictures of their Ford pickup truck on Instagram, and every 9/11 they make some sort of like big memorial post. People who just spent way too much time in history class trying to talk about history with their teacher and spend way too much time playing games like Battlefield and Call of Duty and learning way too much about guns and every single type of gun ever made. So I kind of do think that this was a bit of a weird choice from Call of Duty from a financial standpoint, because I'm pretty sure they know their audience by the point. But regardless, even though they're going to take probably a decent financial hit from this, I respect the hell out of them for doing it. Anyone who thinks that Call of Duty is going to go woke and get broke is kind of stupid. Like, there is no go woke, get broke. Look at the new Spider-Verse movie and the numbers it's doing. Look at Star Wars. People kept saying, oh, go woke, get broke, Star Wars. This is the death of Star Wars, blah, 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 a million times when those movies were coming out, but Star Wars still generates so much fucking money every year. either. The only time you can go woke and get broke is when you go woke and the product you deliver is bad. But enough people seem to like the Call of Duty product overall that I don't really see that being an issue for them, but I don't know. And look, I've been playing Call of Duty a long time, and there were so many times when they would do a stupid thing or make a very stupid decision or release a bad game, and I said to myself, this is gonna be the end of Call of Duty. And you know what? It never fucking happened, because we're still talking about Call of Duty this much today. The reason Call of Duty releases a game every year, they need to stay relevant. I do want to say that I am very concerned for there ever being a creator skin or creator bundle in a video game ever again. TimTheTatMan and TimTheTatMan have just set content creators back so far, because there's probably never going to be creator skins or creator bundles in any of like major like PvP game ever again now because of this. Because at any point, if there's a massive controversy with, you know, those people, the company is gonna have to remove the skin bundle, they're gonna have to remove the skins and everything, and that's just a pain in the ass and a waste of time and marketing, and yeah, they just don't want to take that risk. One of the last things I want to talk about is how sad some people are on the internet. The fucking dick writing I have seen, the cock jockeys I have seen on the internet are unfucking real. I've seen a lot of like actual white supremacists come out in support of, you know, what NickMercs is saying, and I'm not using white supremacists in like the buzzword term of saying it. First of all, let me just say, I've also seen some people saying what NickMercs said was a joke. I think that you can make a fucking joke about any group of people or any topic. I'm serious. I think that as long as you make it funny, that there is nothing on the entire fucking earth that is too sacred to joke about. One of my parents died about cancer, and I've seen plenty of jokes about people with cancer, and as long as they're funny, I laugh at them really hard, even though I probably shouldn't. So yeah, I think you can make a joke about gay people or trans people, but I don't see how you could perceive it all as what NickMercs said was a joke. It's just an objective statement. Also, apparently NickMercs also, isn't particularly fond of black people either, so that's interesting. But I mean, look at the man. Are we surprised on his political views? And kind of, NickMercs basically just dog whistled his entire community of, you know, lonely white 14-year-old teenagers who don't like gay people because they're insecure. And see what NickMercs did is a heroic thing, him standing his ground, and TimTheTatMan being just a real friend and everything. And I kind of think as a streamer and as a content creator, you have a much bigger responsibility. If you think these things behind closed doors, whatever. But if you have young, impressionable fans, it's probably not a good idea to, you know, kind of say things this controversial when you know it can cause so much damage. But I guess they didn't care. I don't think NickMercs and TimTheTatMan's careers are going to be over, but I'm not going to be surprised if no brands ever want to work with at least NickMercs ever again. Which, if you know anything about like how most streamers make their money, sponsorships is where they get like 70% of their like income. He'll probably be fine. After all, he has a legion of edgy, you know, suburban teenagers to, you know, support him with their parents' credit cards, so I bet he'll be fine. Same with TimTheTatMan. Other content creators meat writing TimTheTatMan and NickMercs has been something that has just been really pathetic to see. Specifically, you have my fellow, you know, washed up Overwatch content creator Samito, you know, real, recognize real, we're both failures. It's just crazy to see how man's used a fucking Naruto quote to attribute to a man standing up for his friend being homophobic. I've just seen so many other people be like, they're canceling him over him saying that they should protect children. So nowadays you can't even stop people from being pedophiles or else you'll get canceled. And it's just crazy how many people are just so uneducated and have like lower than 85 IQs who just are fucking glizzy goblin trying to suck on the toes of a bigger content creator, hoping that they'll drop a couple likes and retweets their way. It's honestly just pathetic. You guys know that I've never sucked off a content creator or a company. I've sacrificed multiple like Overwatch and like Apex Legends sponsorships to like criticize the games openly and like say what I actually think. It's pathetic to see grown-ass men who are just ass-kissing and brown-nosing this hard just for a small amount of internet clout. My ultimate point with all of this is I think this entire thing got blown way the hell out of proportion. I think NickMercs made a very dumb decision. I think TimTheTatMan made an even dumber decision by sticking by him. And if you think that's what a real friend should do, I don't really think that's true. I think a real friend would have, you know, put NickMercs in his place, you know, supported him from a distance, not by backing him, by continuing to be his friend and maybe trying to educate him. But honestly, are we surprised that this many top Twitch streamers are this horrible? Also, a lot of people who are going to be leaving angry comments on this video, go out in the world, go experience some actual hardships in your life, go get some pussy, go get some bitches. Like, the truth is, if you really think that he was trying to protect the children, you just haven't seen enough of the world, and you just haven't really seen a lot of situations for what they are, and you really need to, like, go get some different perspectives on other things. Trust me, it really helps a lot. I was someone who, you know, when I was 13 and 14, used to make edgy gay jokes and everything because I was a dumb teenager. I thought it was funny. So if you're like that age like me and you think what I'm saying is stupid, trust me, go get some other perspectives in the world and you'll realize just how fucking dumb what NickMercs said was. If you disagree with me on some things, I don't automatically think that you're like homophobic or whatever. I would love to hear other opinions because I actually am someone who likes to talk to both sides, but I would genuinely like to hear everyone's opinions. If you'd like to, you know, go yell at me on Twitter, Instagram, or get more thoughts from me, you know, my community Discord and Spotify, Twitter, Instagram are always in the description. I'll probably follow you back if you follow me, and subscribe for more content. I'm kind of just gonna make whatever content I fucking feel like. Maybe there will be more videos like this if people actually want them, maybe there won't. I've been Big Citrus, and have a damn good one.